In December 2017, Logistics Industry Reference Council (LIRC) in Vietnam was established with the participation of the General Department of Vocational Education, Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry (VCCI) Ho Chi Minh City, 6 intermediate vocational colleges in Ho Chi Minh City and Đông Nai, Logistics Business Association, and 8 enterprises in the field of logistics services. The LIRC pilot project is a series of ongoing activities based on the core mission of building an approach to develop skills in logistics in Vietnam, a sector that is seriously understaffed. After nearly 3 years of establishment, LIRC has had a great deal of participation from companies and corporations between the two countries such as Thôn Group, Linfox, Tân Cảng Sài Gòn, Germadev, etc. The development of high-quality training programs meeting vocational standards can only be achieved through training capacity building and evaluation of vocational standards for vocational institutions. Therefore, intermodal logistics enterprises have cooperated very closely with schools to develop appropriate training curricula. Greetings from Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 Netviet. In today's program, we will be talking about the education and training for the logistics industry here in Vietnam. And the guest speaker in our program today is Mr. Scott, the Vice Chairman of LIRC. So thank you for joining us. As far as we know, you're working with LIRC since the first days. So can you share more with us about the difficulties when developing this model?
Yeah, look, some of the challenges is really from the logistics point of view is the development of skilled people, and the LIRC is looking at to develop the body for training and upskilling the Vietnamese citizens to be involved in the logistics industry, and we've seen that globally, where countries as they develop in this area, that there's real challenges having that skilled labour and skilled people to be able to take on those roles. So the LIRC is looking how they, in conjunction with business and looking with colleges and education institutions, and how they can develop that blueprint to help further educate the Vietnamese people to be involved in the logistics industry. And as the government has recognised, logistics is a very important part of the economy. So therefore we need to be encouraging people into the industry to develop and be able to keep up with the global standards. So the good part with LIRC is helping bring those industries and bodies together for the betterment of the industry within the country.
Vietnam is now in a shortage of the manpower for the logistics industry, the skilled workforce. So how will the LIRC help Vietnam build up the personnel, the workforce for this industry?
It is, and I guess if we look at the logistics industry, when we go back, so people just start off, and because the demand was there, people were just coming into the industry. The important part for LIRC is not only helping to develop the education and the skill base, but it's also encouraging people to join the logistics industry, and actually selling the industry as a good employment, standards, quality, and developing people so that they can progress through the business world. That's also been in conjunction with, say, the Australian government, and Australia has gone through that same process through the years, where they've had to develop that industry, and there's been challenges along the way because of that demand. So taking that blueprint and helping Vietnam greater logistics industry to develop in that way is also a helpful point, and that's what LIRC is actually bringing together to be able to develop that industry.
What would you say about the strength and also the weakness of the education system for the logistics industry here in Vietnam?
Yeah, so there's twofold. The strength is the Vietnamese people love to learn, so the education is a good thing. So the challenge is actually allowing the people to have access to the training. So that's one of the main points. The other part is in the past they haven't had that access. So part of LIRC is to be able to develop that easier access to be able to learn the skills and to be upsourced. But the real positive is that there's lots of good people out there, and there's lots of very smart people that providing that we can give them the right types of education, we're going to see the industry actually start to prosper and develop even further. So very positive opportunities. A lot of work to be done to bring that together.
In May this year, the Oxford Skills program, in cooperation with Strategic Organisation and Queensland University of Technology, organised a short-term training course on strategy development and training evaluation based on the performance of trainers in vocational training schools and managers from logistics enterprises. Haiphong Maritime College No. 1 was selected for pilot training on receiving and warehousing module in Activity 2 and conduct pilot training for June 3, 2020 to the end of August 2020.
Tôi cảm thấy là nó rất là bổ ích. Thông qua khóa học thì chúng tôi đã được các chuyên gia quốc tế cũng như là các giảng viên có kinh nghiệm quốc tế tư vấn về mặt chuyên môn. Bên cạnh đó là cũng hướng dẫn chúng tôi là trong việc thiết kế cũng như lên kế hoạch đào tạo theo hướng là dựa theo năng lực thực hiện. Bên cạnh đó thì tăng cường cái sự gắn kết giữa các cơ sở giáo dục đào tạo với cả các doanh nghiệp ở trong ngành.
Với mong muốn là thay đổi nhận thức của toàn bộ cán bộ giảng viên trong toàn trường về đảm bảo chất lượng. Vì vậy chúng tôi thực hiện dự án tổ chức hội thảo chia sẻ kinh nghiệm đảm bảo chất lượng về trong giáo dục nghề nghiệp từ lấy kinh nghiệm từ Úc. Hiện tại thì cái dự án này chúng tôi đã và đang thực hiện và được sự ủng hộ rất nhiệt tình từ ban giám hiệu. Trong quá trình thực hiện dự án thì chúng tôi luôn nhận được sự hỗ trợ nhiệt tình từ phía các chuyên gia, các giảng viên từ VIệu thông qua cái nền tảng Blackboard, Gmail và thậm chí là chương trình cũng tổ chức các cái khóa Get Up Session để chúng tôi thảo luận để hoàn thiện dự án của chúng tôi.
Maritime College No. 1 has cooperated with 3 logistics enterprises in Haiphong City to have lecturers and the students have more practical lessons in their warehouse and factories. This helps students apply knowledge to reality better.
Qua thời gian vừa rồi đến thời điểm hiện tại thì hầu hết các bạn sinh viên đã thể hiện được nắm chắc về chuyên môn và bắt đầu hình thành những cái kỹ năng làm việc cơ bản. Một số bạn đã có thể làm độc lập trong một số phần hành và đặc biệt là có một bạn đã được ĐgsmåNG mời làm việc tại doanh nghiệp ngay sau khi bạn hoàn thành khóa học. Thì chúng tôi nhận thấy cái mô hình kết hợp đào tạo giữa doanh nghiệp và nhà trường rất là hiệu quả cho cả doanh nghiệp và phía nhà trường. Về phía doanh nghiệp thì chúng tôi có thể sử dụng nhân viên ngay sau khi các bạn hoàn thành khóa học vì các bạn đã có thể làm việc. Chúng tôi không mất thời gian và chi phí để đào tạo lại. Bên cạnh đó thì chúng tôi có sẵn một cái nguồn nhân lực đã được đào tạo kỹ về chuyên môn, có kỹ năng và hiểu biết về văn hóa của doanh nghiệp. Về phía nhà trường thì nhà trường sẽ không phải mất quá nhiều chi phí đầu tư các trang thiết bị như cái mô hình để đào tạo vì có thể tận dụng ngay cái trang thiết bị và cơ sở vật chất của doanh nghiệp.
Với cái module đào tạo thí điểm này thì chúng tôi đã có được cái sự phối hợp và liên kết rất là chặt chẽ từ 3 cái doanh nghiệp, có thể nói là 3 doanh nghiệp mạnh nhất trong cái lĩnh vực logistics trên địa bàn thành phố Hải Phòng. Đó là công ty cổ phần Hàng Hải Mark, đó là công ty cổ phần liên kết vàng Golden Link và đó là cái công ty trách nhiệm hữu hạn là một thành viên dịch vụ cảng xanh Greenport. Thế thì 3 doanh nghiệp này đã phối hợp rất là chặt chẽ với chúng tôi tất cả các khâu trong cái quá trình đào tạo, từ cái việc xây dựng chương trình theo cái chuẩn của cái chương trình logistics theo APEC. Thế rồi là từ cái việc mà hướng dẫn cho giáo viên cũng như là sinh viên của chúng tôi các cái quy trình về nhận rồi lưu trữ hàng trong cái thực tiễn của doanh nghiệp. Và cái bước thứ ba đó là các doanh nghiệp kết hợp cùng với chúng tôi trong cái quá trình đánh giá cái kết quả sau khi kết thúc module.
It is very important to link the vocational and training for the logistics industry with the industry, I mean the on-the-job training also. So can you share more with us about the experience of applying this method in Australia?
Yeah, look, it's very important to provide on-the-job training as well as the education in the classroom environment. What it does is it allows people to put together their learnings into a real life business type opportunity. And hence the reason why it's really important to actually have industry and business involved as well as the education. So it's actually a two approach where you in classroom education as well as on-the-job training brings that together so people understand what they're learning they can put into practice and how that works in practice.
What advice would you like to give to the logistics vocational and training schools here in Vietnam?
Yeah, I guess it's very challenging right at the present moment. So we've actually had to change the way that we approach the education and the virtual learning or e-learning that takes place. The challenge for that is people having access to IT systems to be able to do the e-learning. So from a vocational point of view, it's that challenge of being able to again allow people access to the learning. And so they're working, I know they're working very hard how they do that, and particularly in the provincial areas where people don't have access to that now. It's getting better, but it's still ways to go. So the real challenge for the vocational training institutions right at the present moment is how can they still deliver the education on remote type areas and people that are wishing to learn. So positive, people want to learn. It's giving them access to that learning regime.
Can you share with us about the future plan of LIRC in supporting or in assisting Vietnam to develop the manpower for the logistics industry in the future?
Yeah, like I think the LIRC is whilst still in a pilot type environment, looking to become official. So there's still more work to do to develop the blueprint to say that this is where it's going to be directed. But I'm of the belief that LIRC is in the right direction, involving the right parties. So there's government involvement, there's foreign government as in the Australian government, there's business, there's institutions, and the work. I think the other part of LIRC is taking it national. So making sure that we're right across the country, we're giving people access to be able to get involved in the logistics industry, and in turn play their part in developing the economy in Vietnam.
So once again, thank you for joining us and for your sharings today. And that's all we have for this episode of Sharing Vietnam Today. For comment and feedback, don't hesitate to write to us at sharingvietnam@netvietttv.net. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.